Hello and welcome everyone to another inspiring episode on my channel, Sara Yunus. And today we are diving into a topic that affects every single one of us. That's happiness. So, is it something we chase? Is it something we create? Or is it something we misunderstood all along? So, to help us decode the powerful emotion, we have with us a very special guest, Neha Pant Tewari. She's a corporate warrior turned happiness coach and a youth mentor. She is the founder of Your Success Story, an internationally certified NLP practitioner and a passionate mentor, guiding people towards mental well being and personal growth. So, I think a lot to know from her, a lot to understand from her, and a lot of guidance and advice is awaiting for us with her. So, let's get started and begin decoding the happiness. Hi, Neha. Welcome to my channel. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me here. It's my pleasure as well.
Thank you. So, Neha, let's start with the basics. How do you define happiness, and how has your personal journey shaped that definition? A very interesting topic, actually.
I completely resonate with your sentiments, actually. So, question
I
in
think
three
there's some
parts.
internet
The
issue.
first is what happens is,
Your voice is breaking. Sorry to
is
interrupt.
this
Your
all
voice
right?
is breaking. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Is it good now?
yeah. It's good
Is
now.
it
It's
all
good now.
right?
Yeah, good to go.
Okay. So, I will answer your question in three parts. What
Okay.
happiness generally means, what it means to me, and how it has impacted my journey, or what was my journey as far as happiness is concerned.
Hmm.
So, let me begin by just letting you know the basics of happiness. Happiness
Okay.
is actually a state of mind which is self generated and which may or may not be stimulated by external stimuli. Now,
Mm.
as a state of mind, happiness is always present within us. But is it
Hmm.
as accessible as it is present? Not really. And the
Yeah,
reason for that is our cluttered mind. 40 to
absolutely.
80% of the times, our mind is cluttered with negativity. It is cluttered with negative self talk. It is cluttered with
Mm.
negative feelings, negative memories, negative or unresourceful emotions. And
Yeah.
therefore, until you sort yourself mentally, until you work on your mindset, accessing happiness remains a distant dream for all of us. Now, apart from being elusive, happiness is also very, very subjective. It
Mm.
differs from person to person, moment to moment, culture to culture, geographies to geography. And so much so
Hmm.
that there is no set definition for happiness so far as
Yes.
positive psychology is concerned. I mean, there are n number of definitions, but not one. Not even one has been found to be universally accepted
Hmm.
because it is so elusive and so subjective. So, when it comes to defining happiness, the answer is very simple, to each
Mm.
his own. For me personally, happiness is when what you think, what you say
Hmm.
or do, and what
Mm.
you feel are in harmony. So, for me, alignment and harmony is what happiness means to me. Now, uh, hi, are you able to see me?
Yeah, sorry, please continue. There's some network issue. Yeah, yeah, please continue.
Hi, Sarah, are you able to see me?
Yes, yes, I'm able to see you.
So, I'll just let you know how it all started, how it all began for me. Okay, it's
Yes,
very
please.
important with me. I started right after my MBA. I started as, you know, bank. I was a retail banker for a very, very long time.
Okay.
Rather, one tenure as a retail banker with ICICI. I think we are having some internet issue
I think
here.
some internet issues. Yeah, your voice. Yeah, there was some internet issues. I think this is the common days happening in today's date in Bangalore because of the weather. Uh, is actually showing its side effects on the internet. So we'll have to just wait for 2 minutes for Neha to join us back because it's a very interesting topic, and I'm also going to take a discuss with her on the most common debate: can money really buy happiness? So I want to see what's her take on this because she's been an experienced field in this, and being an happiness coach is really something different. So I'm sure. Let's see what is the answer she has on this debate. Yeah, hi Neha, you're back.
Hi, I'm back indeed. I'm so sorry. I was lost for some time. So
Yeah,
I
it's
was
okay. It's
telling to you,
Bangalore's common issues which we have to. I was just telling the viewers
okay,
the side
wonderful.
effects
So,
of rain.
right. So, so I have shared what happiness is. Now let me share how I define happiness. So,
Sure.
in case we can start from there. So, I
Yeah.
define happiness as what you think, what you
Mm.
speak or do, and
Mm-hmm.
what you feel. When they are in harmony, that is what happiness is. This is how I define happiness. This is a definition
Correct.
which is given by Mahatma Gandhi, and this is what resonates the most with me. So
Mm.
for me, alignment and happiness is harmony, and that is pretty much how my life unfolded. Right
Mm.
after my MBA, I started out as a young banker. I worked with
Okay.
ICICI Bank in the retail department for many number of years,
Mm-hmm.
and then thereafter I moved on to consulting. I worked
Okay.
in a big four in a major business vertical for again many number of years. But then
Mm-hmm.
I took a long, thoughtful sabbatical. Now, while I
Okay.
was with EY, I was a very happy person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really did not have too many complaints. I was working
Okay.
with the best of the best for the best of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while I did not have too many complaints, there was something deep inside me that was
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be expressed, that was
Mm.
wanting to be let out and be taken care of. Okay.
Mm.
And often I found myself asking this question that will my next promotion or will my next financial goal curb this hunger which I have, will satiate this hunger which I have for fulfillment? The answer, I'm afraid, was always negative. And
Mm.
after a few years, when time passed, it started taking a toll on my health. And that is
Mm-hmm.
when I decided I need to get tracks. I need to change my tracks. I
Okay.
took a sabbatical, and during my sabbatical, I worked on my own ikigai. I worked on my own core competencies, my value system, my ecology in terms of what will work for me and what will not, given the
Mm.
nomadic lifestyle which I have. But
Mm.
most importantly, Sarah, I worked on aligning my mind, body, and spirit to the work that I do. I wanted my work to be my second nature. I did not
Mm-hmm.
want there to be too much of a difference between who I am and what I do. And very organically, I gravitated towards coaching, mentoring, and training, and found my niche
Mm.
in positive psychology as well as personal development. And that is
Mm-hmm.
pretty much how your success story was born. So it is
Mm-hmm.
harmony uh, as well as internal happiness that I found my compass in.
Great. So actually, I was going to discuss with you on the most common debate which you have already answered, which we always see in the hoardings, in the ads. Can money really buy happiness? So I think
That is such a
you
double-edged
really,
question.
yeah. So,
That's a very
what's your take
double-edged
on this? I know
question.
you have answered a few things, whatever you spoke now, because from the background you come from a banking profession, from a working profession, and then you got into something which is actually you. That was actually not you. That was actually your needs, which you were fulfilling, by working as a banker
Yes.
and other industry. But actually, now what you are is we are seeing the real Neha actually. So,
Authentic version of me. So yeah,
yes, correct. Yeah.
I feel that there are two kinds of people, Sarah. One
Hmm.
kind of person is the one that believes that money cannot buy happiness. Everything is
Hmm.
momaya, no, money just can't buy happiness.
Yes,
And materialistic pleasure is something that you have to get over in very soon and stuff. And then there
correct.
is a second kind of people. The second kind of people are the ones who believe that people who think that money cannot buy happiness are possibly the people who do not know the right places to shop. So depending
Hmm.
upon who you think you are, right?
Hmm.
That is what it is. So which kinds are you then? The first or the
Difficult to
second?
say that. Yeah.
So like I
Difficult to
said,
answer.
like,
Yeah.
it's time that we answer this very objectively.
Yes.
So, what happens when you go to a mall, when you're able
Hmm.
to spend money on fine dining experience with your family and friends? What
Yeah.
happens when you're able to spend money and buy that, maybe that dress or that pair of shoe or that bag which you've been eyeing for a long time? And what
Hmm.
happens when you finally get that vacation tickets on you, right? I mean, you are
Hmm.
mighty happy. You're super excited, and money, you have bought joy by spending money. Let's not even kid
Hmm.
ourselves, okay? My question, however, to you is that for how long do you think that you can sustain this happiness? In
Hmm.
case of a meal, the answer probably is till the next meal. In case of a materialistic pleasure, the answer is 24 to 48 hours. In case
Okay.
of a vacation, the answer is probably till the vacation
Gets
continues,
over.
and then
Yeah. Continues.
your
Yeah.
happiness
When you're
comes
back
to a
home.
dip when you hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So happiness can actually buy you safety. Happiness can buy, sorry, money can buy you safety.
Safety.
Money can buy you comfort. Money can buy you independence, which may or may not give you a short term pleasure. But
Hmm.
when it comes to long term happiness, external realities or external circumstances, the visible circumstances like money, power, fame, looks, education, rank, all these things barely contribute to 10 to 18% of your happiness. That's it. 10 to 18% of your happiness. What about the rest
Hmm.
90%, you may think? Rest 90% of your happiness purely depends upon how your brain processes the external reality. Okay?
Hmm.
It depends upon the kind of internal dialogue which you set in to view the external world, the kind of lenses
Hmm.
that you talk, the kind of self talk that you develop. So often you will
Correct.
find people who have said that happiness is an inside job. This is exactly what they mean. You know,
Right.
happiness is an inside job, and money can buy you short term happiness. But
Yeah.
long term happiness, you really have to work hard and long for that.
Hmm. Yeah, I just yeah, I have a question. Like, how do you describe the relationship between the success and happiness? Because do you think they go hand in hand, or is it just a myth?
My God, yeah. I mean, that is again a very, very interesting question which you have for me, Sarah.
Yeah.
If you look at the people around you, really, you will find that people have a typical formula for happiness, and
Hmm.
that formula, Sarah, has been handed down to them from generations. It has
Hmm.
been handed down to them from their parents, and it has thereafter it has been reinforced by their families,
Yeah.
by educational institutions, by workplace culture, by
Hmm.
society at large. What is that formula? The formula simply is that when you work hard, you will make progress. When you
Hmm.
make progress, you will be successful. When you will be successful, then you will be happy. So happiness comes at a cost, and that cost
Hmm.
is success. We have been
Hmm.
preconditioned to believe that
Correct.
success is the precursor for happiness. And that is one reason why we often put happiness after success and not before success. Whereas,
Hmm.
ideally speaking, it should be the other way around. It has been scientifically proven in decades of research that positive emotions and positive feelings very logically thereafter they inspire you to they motivate you, they inspire you, they
Yeah.
make you act, they make you achieve, and therefore the more happy you are, the greater is your potential for success. This is a
Hmm.
proven fact, is a science backed fact. And that also explains the reason why people tend to think that I will be happy when they attach a condition, because we've learned
Yeah.
it is our blueprint in today's world
Yes.
that I can only find happiness after I attain something in my life. I will be
Hmm.
happy when I lose 10 kg. I will be happy when I pitch for that client. I will be
Hmm.
happy when I earn that promotion. I will be happy when I have a partner in my life. So a lot of
Yeah.
wins, a lot of wins. We give a lot of times, but what we don't realize is that by doing that, we are actually pushing happiness beyond the horizon because you are creating one milestone which actually multiplies into a thousand milestones. So when you
Correct.
so I'm not saying that you should not succeed or you should not plan and be passionate about success. I'm simply
Hmm.
saying don't put happiness after success. Try to put it before success and you will automatically see success walking up to you. You know,
You should
that is
not
what I'm
have
saying. If you want to
conditions attached
unlock
to it. It's
success,
basically,
yes. So when you actually become happy your own self, you will find success attracting and magneting itself to you. So
hmm.
that is what really matters in life. So instead of marrying the two concepts together,
Hmm.
right? Instead of
Yeah.
tying the two concepts together, separate them a little and
Hmm.
try to view them not putting happiness after success but before it.
Hmm. Before it, absolutely. So
That
is
is
it
one reason.
so Neha, is that happiness is something which we are born with, or can it be learned and cultivated over time?
So this is a tricky one, Sarah, to be honest with you. So, a
Yeah.
lot of times I hear people say that happiness runs in the family, or for that matter, unhappiness runs in the family. Mane, if your parents are, if your mother is unhappy or tends to be inclined towards depression, the chances are that you or your daughter might also do the same, right? I mean, we've heard
Hmm.
people say that. That
Yeah.
is partially true. Um,
Okay.
that is
But
partially true because
that usually happens, sorry to interrupt, that usually
not at
happens when
all.
a lady is pregnant, and how she is having her thoughts are in what circle she lives, or is
So
it
that
also after the
is
child is born?
after the child is born as well. So, thoughts
Oh,
and
okay.
everything, that bit is a separate discussion issue altogether. You're right.
Hmm.
Whatever other things kind of passes on to the daughter
Yes.
or the son for
Yeah.
that matter, the kid for that matter, that bit is
Correct.
separate. But here, what I'm trying to focus on is the genetics of it. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, 50% of your happiness is determined by your genes, which
Hmm.
is half of your happiness is determined genetically. Okay, which
Okay.
is to say that you may be a carrier of a particular genes which may
Hmm.
predispose you to feelings of anxiety, depression or negativity, or on the contrary it may also predispose you to feelings of joy, positivity
Hmm.
or buoyancy. Okay, you must have seen some children are very quiet and very reserved, and they tend to be very sensitive, and then there are some
Yeah.
people or children who are just the opposite, right? So that is the
Correct.
genes doing their bit. So this is 50% of your happiness, right?
Hmm.
What about the next 50%, the other half? So
Yeah.
what we've seen is that 10% or more is dependent upon the place you live in or the external circumstances, money, power, fame, looks, rank, education, so on and so forth, right? What about the rest 40%? Now,
Hmm.
Sarah, this is the sizable chunk of happiness, which is the controllable chunk of happiness. It
Okay.
can be controlled and managed to make you either happier or less miserable, as the case may be, depending upon your genetical makeup. ठीक है?
Hmm.
So, how do you do that? Now, the 40% of the environment, how do you manage that? It purely depends upon your ability to manage your environment. Environment
Hmm.
is what? It is the people who are there, the
Hmm.
processes that are there, the systems which you have created, your
Yeah.
ability to handle stress, your ability to manage the triggers, your ability to regulate the emotions, your
Hmm.
ability to connect with people, right? Connect with purpose
Yes.
and meaning in life. So
Hmm.
these are the things, if you work upon these, it'll be easier for you to manage the happiness in your life. And
Hmm.
one of the key things that helps you to do that are the habits of happiness. Simple things like meditation, like
Hmm.
physical exercise, things like breath work, things like kindness, things like gratitude, so on and so forth. So, this is how you manage and control happiness.
Great. So Neha, you have actually, I can, from your talks, I can understand you've been closely working with youths, professionals, and the experiences and the feedbacks from them is what is making you speak and share the actuals, that what people are facing and how they can overcome it, like, maybe medications or maybe, some kind of exercise or something which actually interests them in, maybe some kind of sports, whichever field they like, painting, music, some kind of art form and all that stuff, which can actually balance these things and actually take them towards the happiness. Then they don't have to wait for an excuse to be happy. So what are but basically tell me something, when you've been working from so many years with this kind of youths and professionals, what are some common blocks you see in people that keep them away from experiencing happiness?
So, some of the most common things are people deny happiness. They
Okay.
inherently tell themselves that I don't deserve to be happy. They don't permit
Mm-hmm.
themselves to be happy. That is
Mm-hmm.
one key factor which I have seen. You know, they put way too many conditions on happiness. मैं कैसे, how can I be happy? I am very lonely. I'm not a very good looking person. I'm not a very
Awesome.
charming person. I'm not good at my
Mm,
studies. A lot of comparison that happens with people, right? So, they
correct.
put way too many conditions on themselves
Hmm.
and they justify their being unhappy. So that is the most common thing which I have seen in the youth. A,
Mhm.
comparison, B, not permitting themselves to be happy. And C, of course, is the phone addiction or
Yeah,
the digital media addiction, so to say.
correct.
That doesn't make them work on themselves. That's a very good
Right.
escape for them. So these are
Hmm.
three of the most common things which I have seen.
Absolutely. And I think the third point which you highlighted was really very important. And actually, it's the fact, mobile and the digital addiction has become so much in people that, they've stopped talking to real humans and they're only with the mobiles. You
So
don't
true.
need any real human. Now, I think now the days have gone to say that we are lonely because all the
We
time
have an
people
AI
are with
friend.
the phones. Yeah, yeah, and AI, after AI comes, it's become so this thing, they have a query, they need a friend, they only chat with the AI, and the AI keeps replying what they want to hear, what they want to experience. I think it's so, we are so addicted to it. Also, people are losing jobs because of this AI.
Yes, yes, that is
That is
so
one
true.
more negative part of this. One positive thing is that people, when they come for different places, Bangalore being an IT industry, many people from outstations come here for jobs and all that. It's good that they have that AI as their friend with whom they can communicate, watch reels and all that. But at the same time, it's bad for the working professionals because many companies are hiring the AIs, having the AI softwares. They don't mind spending on that on a huge amount because of the employees. And now that employees have understood that we making some damn excuse, our boss is going to just get that AI inside the company and just fire us. So it's becoming
So
like an
true, so
alarming
true.
thing for everyone.
Yes, very true.
So, Neha, lastly, like, if
That's
you had to give some a piece of advice to someone who's struggling to feel happy, what would it be? Because I have come across some people, in my personal experience. After I came to know about you, I just did a little research. Basically, that's the basic concept. When you have to talk to someone, when you need to know someone and ask some questions, it's you need to do a little bit homework of what industry that
100%.
person is into, to get a
Yes.
clarity. And also I personally come across some people that it's very difficult for them to be happy. They're like, ho gaya, it's fine, matlab, no big deal. You can't see them feeling happy about anything. They're struggling on that, or something is there, or maybe it's just as you gave the timelines, which was very good. I like the timestamps which you gave, कि अगर ये हुआ तो इतना घंटा, ये हुआ तो इतना घंटा. I think that is how these people work on. So what is that advice from your side, because you've been so mastered in this industry and you've experienced with so many people, working closely with them is not an easy task.
So thank you first off for such showering such graces on me. Sarah.
Absolutely.
But I resonate so closely because you're right. I've worked closely with a lot of people, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them have been women and youth, right? And
Yes.
one of the key things which I see is a lot of inertia in them. They
Hmm.
lack that kinetic energy. They lack that action taking ability. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that jaisa hai, it is like this
Ah,
only. It,
correct.
it can't change, right? Even if I do something, it'll either not work out, or they are so negative about the whole aspect that they give up on even trying, right? So I think one of the key aspects that people can do, especially if they are depressed, sad, anxious, or frustrated, is measure the degree of your frustration, anxiety, depression, sadness, negativity in general. What is it? How
Hmm.
sad or how acute is it, right? If it
Hmm.
is extremely acute and if it is clinic, you definitely need therapy. That is one. Second,
Yes.
what you can do what you can do on your own without
Hmm.
without the the psychic intervention, psychologist intervention, is psychiatric intervention for that matter, is that self knowledge. That is one thing that has helped me a lot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge about self, understanding your triggers, learning a few grounding techniques, learning a few things to calm yourself down, right? These are the
Yeah.
things that you need to know and have a ready made or a ready emotional toolkit. This is something which I advise to a lot of people. In fact, in my trainings and in my clients, I actually make people create their own toolkits.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
emotional aid toolkits is what I call them, right?
Mm.
Now, for a lot of people, different things work. One of the
Yes.
key things that should be there in your toolkit is regulating your breath. When you're regulating your breath or when you're learning to calm yourself down. See, people do a lot of things to calm themselves down. Few of
Yes.
them may simply sit quietly and do a Bhagwan ka dhyan, for that matter. Few of
Correct.
them simply go and call up somebody, their mother or their best friend or their boyfriends or girlfriends or their partner for that matter, right? I call it
Yep.
CAP, call a positive person. Whoever can kind of, they can vent out to, or um, whoever can help them feel positive and calm at that particular moment and regulate their breaths. Okay, so that will
Hmm.
also help them in emotional regulation. Okay, the
Correct.
third thing I tell people is everybody has a mood lifter. Everybody
Hmm.
needs to have a mood lifter in their toolkit. That mood lifter may be a music, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can be a piece of music. The moment you switch that music on, uh,
Yeah.
you start feeling really great about it. Okay.
Correct.
Or it may be a certain lighting. If you on a certain light and if you blow some, or if you probably light up some aromatic candles or whatever, that also calms a few people down. So, an
Hmm.
emotional toolkit with a person who
Correct.
is somebody whom you can speak to, or maybe creating an atmosphere, or maybe listening to music, or maybe simply if it happens at a workplace, what do? The
Hmm.
first thing that you do is when you're anxious or when you're suddenly having a panic or when you're not feeling great about things,
Hmm.
leave whatever you are doing. Take a pause. Taking
Correct.
a pause is the most important thing. Take a pause, change the physical setting, leave your
Hmm.
workstation for maybe a couple of minutes. That's good enough. 90 to 180 seconds. 3 minutes is also good enough. Leave your workstation, walk outside, fresh air, right? Walk into the fresh air, stay by a plant or a greenery or nature by some place. See, the vibration of nature and a human vibration is the closest possible aligned. So when you're walking in a park, you will feel very calm because the vibrations are similar for nature and for human beings. So spending time in nature, spending time in fresh air by the plant will calm you down initially. So creating your own toolkit with all these things and knowing what calms you down, creating a toolkit out of it, having people to talk to and people whom you can rely on, and having an activity or creative, uh, a creative kind of where you can pour out something of your frustration. Some people enjoy painting, some people enjoy singing, some people enjoy maybe creating a content. Journaling is again something which is very, very interesting for you to help you know yourself and also pour out your emotions. So, whatever negativity and whatever anxiety you have, if you start writing about it, trust me, 70% will be gone there and then. I guarantee you that. Just try it one time and know the right way to journal. I mean, people can connect with me, I can give them prompts, and I
Oh,
will give you a 20 minutes of a writing exercise. I guarantee you that will free you of your heaviness at least half an hour after that. So, those are some kind of things that can be done for people who are
hmm, very
prone to.
interesting. Uh, I think it's given a lot of insights to people and a clarity that what can be done on this, and the cap option which you said, call a positive person. I think before they come to a proper judgment that they need to get into a proper therapy, or maybe they need to consult an expert like you, these are the basics which they can start doing from now. So it helps them in their daily thing.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's really thank you so much, Naina, for sharing such deep insights and breaking down the myths around happiness. Because I never knew, that for happiness also we have a coach, we have a therapy, we have something. So it was really interesting to know about this, and your journey and your perspective are a beautiful reminder that happiness isn't a destination; it's a way of living and thinking.
Yes, it's a whole journey.
So people,
Thank you so much
people
for
think
having
that.
me, Sarah, and I wish all the viewers all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have a nice day ahead.
Bye bye.
Bye. So, to all the viewers, if this conversation resonated with you, do check out Neha's platform, Your Success Story, and reach out to her for mentoring or coaching support. Her contact details are in the description below. There's nothing harm to, maybe you're not sure whether you need this or not. It's fine. I think getting in touch with her once, discussing her, maybe that one-on-one will give you a clarity of where you stand and whether do you need to go ahead with it or not, or just a one session is just helping you resolve this. It's a very interesting topic, and I think we are experiencing this every day, but we are not noticing on it, or maybe we have not got an opportunity to discuss on these points in our stressful journey. And very important point which he mentioned is that the technology, the phone, the digital media has made us so much involved that we are not seeing the other things. And again, to highlight a very good word which he used, which we never know that a cap can have that other meaning, that call a positive person really helps, in your stress time, anxiety times, and all that stuff. So you could also try that. So till then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your loved ones. And I'm going to get you a lot of interesting, and powerful conversations on this channel. So please do subscribe to my channel. Until next time, stay mindful, stay joyful, and keep building your own success story. And give me a chance to get you on my channel, showcase your story, and let's explore more options with everyone. Until then, take care. Bye from Sarah, and thank you for watching.